It's Caroline here from Aussie Cards and Crafts. Thanks for joining me today. Today what I want to show you is a stand-up book card. Now, this is my prototype. I have changed it slightly since then, but as you can see, it's just a normal card at the front. But when you open it up, it's got that beautiful book fold in there. I have changed the dimensions of this for the card I'm making for you today. This was, as I say, my prototype. I decided I don't particularly like the border around here, so I've taken that out. And of course, going with my other cards that I've done this year, it is going to be a Christmas card to actually build my Christmas card stash up. Now, before we go ahead, if you'd like to see other videos as I put them up, if you'd like to just hit the subscribe button, that would be really helpful, and give me a thumbs up. And once you've watched it, maybe some comments as well, because I'm more than happy to respond to any questions or comments that you might have. So today what I'm going to do is, as I said, it's going to be a Christmas card. Now, some of it I've done already. This is a template of what I have used, and this is what I'm going to be basically using. So if you can see that, by all means take a screenshot and I will explain them to you as I go through. First off, I'd like to go through the card sizes with you. So we start with our main card. Let me take that off and that off. So the main piece of card is going to be 11 and a quarter inches by 5.5 inches. Now, along that 11 and a quarter, you then need to score at 5 5/8. Okay, so just score down the center. Now, to make sure that that is correct, line it up against the top of your scoreboard, and I'll just bring that down in case it's not in view. But line it up against the top of the scoreboard, fold it over so that both edges are there, and then use your boning tool to make sure that it is nice and square. Okay, now as you can see, I've already done the front of this, so I might as well go through those mats and layers for you as well. Now what I've got is I've got a mat, and that is the same paper that this is, and that is from this particular one here, DCWV. I believe, looking at the tag, I believe I probably got it from Spotlight here in Australia. But this is a Christmas one, and it's got, haven't used it a huge amount, but it's got several different ones in that I probably will use as time goes on. So for this matte layer, what you need is a piece that is 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, and if you want a second layer on top to put your Merry Christmas, I have done a die cut of a square and put it as a diamond. But if you wanted another one, it would be 5 inches by 5 inches, and it would sit over there, and you could have your sentiment on it. I instead have used a die cut, and it is this one just here. Now I can't tell you what brand it is. I do know that this was probably bought from Paper Flourish down at Paraka, but I can't tell you. It's before I actually started recording where dies were from. So could be a Paper Roses one, don't know. This particular die is the Merry Christmas die. It is an unbranded one. I don't know where I got it. I did get this one from overseas, sorry. I don't know what brand it is, but yeah, I used that one for the Merry Christmas. And on the front also, before I go into the other sizes, I've also made just a couple of flowers, because I think that just kind of picks it up a little bit. I haven't put them on because I need to be able to lay this flat, so I'll pop those ones on later. Second piece that you need, put that to one side, is exactly the same size. So this is going to be 11 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches, and then along that center line you are going to score at 5 5/8. Once again, folding it over, making sure. Now, what I did do with this one, because there's a fold in it, which then if I were to pop this in here without taking a smidgen off the edge, it would, when it folds, it actually sits up and it sits a little bit proud of the actual base card. So what I did is I just popped this in, and it wouldn't even be, it would probably be a 1/32 off each end of an inch, and that just gives it that room so that when it does fold, it doesn't actually come out there. Okay, right, now for the more, I guess, intricate part is how we actually cut this piece here. Now, I'm going to cut on this side, mainly so that you can see what I'm actually doing. So this is how we make this part in here. Okay, so there's 2 cuts and lots of scoring, and I do it all on my scoreboard. So if you've got one of my scoreboards, you know that it goes from this side 1 inch, 2 inches, 3 inches, etc. So as I said, this one is 5 1/2 inches. Now we need to make our first cut at 3/4 of an inch. So if you take 3/4 of an inch off of 5 1/2, bring it to 4 3/4, just there. Line your cutter up at, let me grab my, I want to make sure this is correct. Line your cutter up at 1 3/4 inches. So there's a little mark on there. So line it up there, and then cut down until you get to 9 1/2 inches, which is coming up just here. Okay, so now you have that. Turn it 180 degrees and do exactly the same thing. So once again, we want it 1/4 inch in here. This is 5 1/2, so we're going to bring that in to 4 3/4, and we're going to take it from 1 1/2 inches. Hope you can't see my head there. Down to, sorry, 1 3/4 inches, that should be, down to 9 1/2. Okay, so we've now got 2 pieces. Now, I did that slightly incorrectly there, so I'm going to use this first one, which I did do correctly. What you now need to do is you now need to have a, let me have a little look here, it's 3/4 of an inch. So from where this this actually stops, this cut line stops, which is 1 3/4 inches in. If you line that up somewhere on your cutting board, okay. So I'm going to do it on the 3, and then use that score and cut down to, sorry, score down to that other cut line. Okay. Do the same the other side. So I'm going to, once again, I'm going to use the 3 mark here, and then score down to that other cut line. Now on this one here, you will see that I did it at 1 1/2 instead of 1 3/4. All I'm going to do, because you're not going to see that, so that it doesn't really stand out, is I'm going to pop a little piece of tape over that to hold it together. So there's your first 2 score lines. The next score line that you've got to have is going to be, let me have a little look here. It's going to be 2 1/2 inches, and it's going to be from there down to the other cut line, and then on this edge it's going to be 8 3/4. So 8 3/4, bring it down just from that cut line. Whoopsies. down to there. Okay, keeping it in your scoreboard, if you then go to 3 5/8 across here, you need to score just down to, from the top, just down there. And if you've got 3 5/8 would be, let me just have a little look here, 1 2 3 4 5. So that's the darker one, so that's 1 2 3 4 5, and then score there. Do this, turn it around and do exactly the same the other side. So that is going to be, where am I? I'm just looking up here. 3 5/8. So 3 5/8. And this one here is 3 and 1 2. So just there. Okay, and that is all your scoring and all of your cutting done for the card. So we can pop this away for the time being. Oh, well, yes, we can pop it away. I can go through the other sizes with you shortly. And if we turn it over, now, as you can see, not that one, this one, as you can see, this center one is going to be a mountain fold. So we make that into a mountain fold, top and bottom. The next one, the next fold down, is going to be a valley fold. Okay, so we do that on both sides. And a valley fold. The next one, this is actually going to be a valley fold, and this one's going to be a mountain. So I find it best to do the mountain first, just gently, and then fold it over. So do the mountain fold first, and then the valley fold. Okay, and once you've done it, make sure that you use your bone folder to make sure it is correct. So we'll do this side as well. And then we can turn it over this way. Just making sure all of those folds are actually correct. And there you have it. That is how your card is going to sit. And the rest now is up to decoration, really. Okay, now you can decorate it afterwards or you can decorate it before. I'm going to choose to decorate before this time. So what I have got here is, okay, I'm just going to go away and I'm going to do, I've forgotten to do the sentiments on those, so I'm going to switch off whilst I do those, and I'll switch back on again in a moment. Okay, sorry about that. I suddenly realised that I hadn't put any of my sentiments on. So what we now need is we now need 2 pieces of, let me have a little look here, 3 7/8 of an inch along there and 2 3/4 along there. So we need 2 of those, and then we also need 2 of the top ones, which is 3 5/8 of an inch along there and 2 1/2 inches along there, and they sit on nicely like so and like so, and then these are actually going to sit in here as part of our book. The other pieces are going to fit in just there and just there. Okay, now I have the sentiments that I use there. The this one is just basically, is that the one I used? Just for you at Christmas, which is just here. Now that's just a cute Christmas one. It's a Stamp and Die. It's an unbranded one. I really don't know where I got that from. This one is a Kaisercraft one, and it's May Your Days Be Merry and Bright with stars around it, and that's that one there. Okay, so I've changed my mind and I'm actually going to stick this down first. So what the best thing is to do is to fold it as it's going to be folded, and this part along here is where you need to put your glue. Now once you put your glue on, you then need, and I would come in just a fraction from this top part here. Okay, so it's just that kind of C part, and then you need to pop that down just half a millimetre in, I would say. Nice and straight, top and bottom. Okay, and then what you need to do is let's just bring that down just a little bit. You then need to do the other side. And bring that down to exactly the same point. So for this side, you will then glue along there and around there. And stretch it out and bring it into the same spot, and you'll see that it will all lay flat. Now you'll see that there is a slight, very slight, so when you're making the card, maybe if you don't want that red showing, don't cut that little section off. Okay, so there we go, there is our card. Now that's a little bit shy of that, so that's just a simple case of getting a knife and a blade, and it can sometimes do this if it goes a little bit skew-whiff in your printer, in your trimmer. I'm just going to take that off with that so that it's, I didn't take any of the red off, I only took the green that was hanging over. So there we go, there it is. Now what we now need are for these to be stuck down as well, so bear with me and I will come back to you. I'll speed this up so you don't have to watch me doing it. Okay, I don't recall giving you this measurement. This is actually 1/2 inch by 3 3/4, and they just go to make it look like it's the edge of the book. Okay, so you can see inside is now done. You've got 1 centimetre there, you've got another centimetre there, and you can write in there. I've just put some, you can use thicker if you want and fill that whole space up, which might look better. It might actually look more like a book that way. In fact, I think I might change that. So I'm going to take that off and I'm going to cut some more, because I think it would look better if it was actually the full width to make it look more like a book. So what you will then need, instead of the 1/2 inch by 3 3/4, you will need 3/4 inch by 3 3/4. Okay, so I've just cut a different size and I'm just going to glue those on for you and we'll see how this looks. I think you'll find that it's going to be a lot better. Yes, I think the bigger and the wider piece does look better. Okay. Next, all we need to do is to finish decorating the front, and I've got some poinsettias that I had done before, so I've just put some gold in the centre just to make sure that they are they kind of all tie in with the gold theme. So I'm going to pop one there. I'm going to put another one next to it. Just there. And I think I will put a single one up the top there to finish it off. And there we have it. And there we have it. So this is our stand-up book card, and as you open it up, it looks like there's a book inside. Now, I did do a book card recently, and I'll also link that up the top here. But this is the stand-up book card. I actually really quite like it. You might find that you need to train it a little bit into where it's got a fold. But once it is trained, it will be fine. Oops, I shouldn't have put it back the other way before my flowers were set, but that's okay. So there it is. I hope you've enjoyed it. I really do. It has been a while since I've put a video up. The reason being is I'm actually back at work now after my surgery, and that's kind of taking up a lot of time at the moment. So this is it. This is the stand-up book card. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please leave me a subscribe to my channel, and also leave me a thumbs up, and any comments I will be more than happy to respond to. Thanks for joining me, and until next time, happy crafting.